everyone, welcome back to Humble Acres. We're finally going to kind of get started on this. I know we've done a video on starting the engine, but I just haven't done anything since then. Been busy. I built my shelf for my office and a lot of other life things, so we're finally going to get to doing something on this today. My goal is to paint the frame, but we need to get the body off of there and we got to move all the stuff that's in the body here. So I kind of have an idea of what I want to do with all this, so I think we should probably just do that. So let's get all this moved out of here. Not sure if any of you are going to know, but I bought this Honda Element. It's a 5-speed manual and all-wheel drive. And I have an idea for a project for it. I'm still trying to convince my wife of it. Yeah, I don't know if any people out there are Honda fans, but it says a K-Series K24 A4 engine in it and all-wheel drive system. And it will basically bolt into my Civic. The all-wheel drive system takes some fabrication a little bit, but I really want to all-wheel drive swap and K-Series swap my Civic. I think it would be a blast to do, but still trying to convince the wife. So possibly a upcoming project, but we'll have to see how that goes. Right now though, I'm thinking that I can use this for storage though, because this Element, I got it because the guy put it into a ditch, and the control arm on the back here, it was rusted out so bad that when he put it in the ditch, the whole control arm ripped off the body and the whole mount was like ripped off. So it's not really good anymore, but it still does drive. Like I can putz it around the property a little bit because I just ratchet strapped it back together. But yeah, other than that, it runs good and everything. So, but it has a bunch of room in the back. So I was thinking if I just park it here in the winter, I can shove all the FJ parts in here. That's a lot of the other parts that I'm going to be using for the swap if I ever actually do that. All of those parts are off the RSX that I had. I had a RSX Type S. So a lot of those parts would actually be used for the swap. But anyway, I'm going to just use this for storage for now because it's basically a nice little shed. And I'm not going to be driving it anyway, so it'll work out good. So let's get all those FJ parts put in here. Got pretty much everything jammed in there, so that'll be fine for now. Get this closed up, get it locked up, and it'll be weatherproof. We need to get this body off of here, and I have kind of an idea. This body actually isn't even bolted down. It's just sitting on there, and there's no body mounts at all on there. It's not really too incredibly heavy. I can pick up the back of it pretty easily. Pick up pretty much all of it pretty easily. So let's vacuum it out real quick, and then I guess we'll try to stand it up. I don't know. Figure you're probably going to want to watch what I'm actually doing instead of a time lapse. Because if something happens, I want it recorded, you know? I'm sure nothing's going to happen though. There's no possible way this could go wrong. Definitely not. Yeah, I mean, I don't see how this could be bad in any way. We're just going to lift this up. It's going to just slide down. We can stand it right up. This is how the professionals do it, okay? Let's see. Need to get over that. This might be in the way. As well as that. Here's my bucket. Alright. This is definitely going perfectly. Yep, nothing wrong here. This is going perfectly as planned. Problem is, I think this front part is the heaviest part. That's sketchy. Perfect. Now I just need to stand it up. I might not have the strength. Perfect. Perfect. See, it's just that easy. I don't know why you guys were all scared. It was fine. And just imagine how easily we'll be able to redo the bottom of this now. We'll be able to like shine it all up, weld everything, paint it nice. It's basically a rotisserie. All right, see, look, I strapped it up there. It's not going anywhere. It's pretty sturdy now. I'm confident in that. So, all right, next, the frame. Ta-da, it's a frame. So the only spot that I saw was on the back here. It's not rust. But you can see there's a hole there, and it looks like somebody like ground something that was welded on the bottom here off. So we need to patch over that. I think I'm just gonna get the welder and just like spot weld it, and then we can grind it down smooth, because I don't think we actually need to add too much material on there. But yeah, that's basically the back part. Looks perfect. Like there's hardly any rust on there. We need to bend this back up a little bit. Looks like that got bent down a little. But this frame is really good. So I like that. The front part up here has been modified quite a bit. Somebody added this little bar in here. I don't know if they had like a big push bar or something on the front, but like these little tabs we need to cut off. There's plates welded on the outside here that need to be cut off. There was one on this side that was cut off, and it was blocking the VIN number some, so I cut that one off so I could see the VIN number. But the other thing about this side is there is a little crack running right along here, and I believe there's one on this side as well. Can't remember. Nope, not on that side. It's just on this side. So we need to weld this up a little bit and then grind this down. I think this mount is fine. Yeah, it's still on the original rivets there. We can cut this little thing off. But that's pretty much it. Somebody kind of messed up this a little bit here, so we might add a little bit of weld on there, then grind it so it's nice and straight again. And then same on this side. Somebody got a little happy with the torch. So we have a little bit of work to do here on the front, but nothing too major. And yeah, we should be good after that. And then the plates that go on here, I don't have one for the bottom, unfortunately, which it might not actually, this frame might not have actually had one. I don't know. I do have these two top ones though. They're a little bent up. I took them off one of the other ones, but those will go up there at the very least. But the bottom ones, I don't really know. I might just not use them because the bumper can attach to the top one here. And we may just either make our own bracket or just not have a bottom one. So that's probably what's going to end up happening there. We got to straighten these back out a little bit. But I'm going to try to use what I have. And then I do have some hooks to go here, so we'll put those on as well before we paint the frame. But other than that, we're looking pretty good. The brake lines we're gonna have to change up because this is the older style where it only had one reservoir for the front and the back. So we're probably gonna change it to a 2-piston. I don't know if we're gonna make it power or not. At the very least, we're gonna add 2 reservoirs, so because that's just way safer. The single reservoir is just not great. So yeah, that's about it for that. This front axle on here, it looks like somebody kind of tampered with it because it's missing some studs and there's no bolts or nuts on the front here. The hub is missing some stuff, so not really sure what's going on with that. The back one is looking fine, except one of the studs is broken there. This one looks fine over here. We should probably take these off and check the brakes and stuff like that. But honestly, that'll probably be like after the fact because I just want to get all painted and then we can mess with the brakes later. Like, that's not that big of a deal. It would be cool to find out if this is one of the older axles though. I don't know if there's a way to identify it. It looks like this number here is 40108. I don't know if that identifies it at all. But yeah, this is an older frame. This frame, I believe, is from 64? I think it's from 64. Because the VIN number starts 4-FJ40. So, I don't know. Experts, you can let me know. I think I know, but I kind of forget. But the VIN number on this, the frame doesn't match my title, and the engine is newer as well. So this one's been highly modified. The body, I believe, is the correct one for the frame, but the VIN tag I have for it, or the VIN tag that's on the body, is for a much newer one. I think, like, I can't remember exactly. Maybe I'll put it down here, but the VIN number that I have for it is for this year right here down at the bottom. So the VINs on this are kind of all messed up, but I do have a clean title for the VIN plate that's on the body, so that's what I'm using. I'm not going to try to mess with all the other VINs and stuff. It'll be fine. Especially here in Iowa, they don't check that stuff ever, so it's really not going to matter. Alright. So I think the first thing we need to do is weld up all these spots and get everything kind of ground down and ready to paint. And then we're just going to paint the frame. We got to clean up a lot of the oil mess here. Alright, so I was able to get everything cleaned up on here. There were a couple little pieces on the bottom that I got cleaned up, and then I also got all of this cleaned up right here. You can see all of that is filled in and it's looking good. And then I also went through all of these holes and I filled in all the ones that weren't factory holes. At least I think. I'm pretty sure all the ones that are left on here are factory holes. So yeah, it's kind of hard to know because there are a lot of them. I'm still unsure about these ones here. I'm probably going to need to go look at some pictures online to see what a factory one looks like. Or I could go to my other one, but this is an older frame, so I don't know if the holes were different on these frames or not. So I'll still have to go look, but I think I have all of them filled in. You can kind of tell because on the back side they looked like they were drilled and a lot of them weren't like symmetrical. Like for instance, there were some like right here and here and then here and here, but these ones here were kind of above the rivets, and then on this side they were like next to them, so I kind of knew those ones were not factory. So I think I got them all good. There were also a lot of broken bolts off in the nuts that were welded on the backside. So I just took my chisel and broke all of the welded on nuts off. So there aren't any welded on nuts now, which might be a pain later, but for now, it'll probably be fine. It would probably be nice to just get some nuts and weld them on the backs real quick just so I have them, but I also don't know what is supposed to go in each of those spots, so that also makes it somewhat difficult. So I think for now I'm just going to leave them as is. The holes are all open, nothing's broke off in them, so we're going to go with that. Alright, I think I got these front frame rails all cleaned up. You can see I got this all straightened out, or material added back in there, I guess. Ground down nice. I got this all welded up here, so that's nice and flat again. I got this all cleaned up here. Bottom's cleaned up. Over here, did the same thing. I added material here to make it nice and straight again. I filled this hole in here, ground that down. So I think the front frame rails are good to go now. They are all back to stock, so that's all we were trying to do. I keep going back and forth on pulling the engine out of here. I don't think it's really going to be in the way to paint stuff, but I do need to clean this all up nice because it's all oily and everything. And I was thinking if I'm going to paint the frame and stuff, I probably should at the very least paint the engine. And then that way, if I paint the engine, I'll be able to see if there's any leaks or not. And then at that point, I don't know. I'm not really sure, honestly, because I don't know. I don't really want to rip apart the engine. Considering it runs really good, there's not really a point in tearing it apart. So I think I'm going to remove the engine. I don't know. I think it'll probably be best in the long run, and right now is the time to do it. There's only 4 bolts I gotta take out for the mounts, and then just lift it off there, and I can just set on the floor next to it or something. Alright, got that out of there. Wasn't too bad. Just more trying to balance it's always the tricky part. Alright, the frame is clean. I still need to do the axles, but the frame actually looks really good. You can see there's still quite a bit of paint on it. So yeah, looks really good. Not any surprises or anything like that. I didn't clean the back of it because there's not really any grease on it. This we just need to basically wire brush down. Hello everyone and welcome back. I don't know where the last clip left off because it's been about a month since I've worked on this thing. I did a live stream a few days ago. I kind of talked a little bit and I just kind of was grinding on this frame. But now I need to actually finish this video up. So I want to get the rest of the frame wire wheeled off, clean it all up so I can paint it, get all the rust off of it. I kind of quit the other day because all of my wire wheels here kind of were pretty much used up. And these weren't, they were supposed to be meant for the speed of my grinder. So I went and got a bunch of different styles and they are rated, because the old one was rated for 12,500 RPM. The new ones are rated for 14,000 RPM. So hopefully they'll last a little better. And I got one that's a little bit of smaller winds, and then some of these. I ain't get any of the like really lightweight ones because who needs that? So I'm gonna get this one put in because this is probably my favorite one I use, and hopefully they'll hold together more, because when I was using the other ones, little wires were just sticking in my clothes everywhere, and that's why I put all my mask and everything on, because I don't want to get one of those in the eye. That would not be good. I also picked up another grinder. It's actually the same thing as this one, but it's really nice to have multiple of these because then you don't have to change the disc or whatever you have in there near as often. And it was on sale, so I picked that up. I've been wanting one for a while. I also have my Milwaukee one, which I usually just use for cutting because the battery tends to go down pretty quick when you don't, or it goes down pretty quick when you're trying to use a wire wheel because it pulls on the battery. It takes a lot more amperage, I guess you could say, to spin that. So let's get this on here, and then I might put one of these other wire wheels on this one just so I can get in different locations and switch between the two and get the rest of this done. It's looking really good. I've gotten pretty much all of the outside done. I don't think I did over here yet because once again my wire wheel was pretty much gone at that point. And yeah, I need to do the inside all over. I think I did the inside up here mostly, but I need to get the back. This is probably where the worst rust is, but it's all just surface rust, as you can see. Like, you can still see some paint on there, so not a big deal. In here is going to be next to impossible to do, so I might just take like a Scotch-Brite pad or some sandpaper in there, just get as best we can. There's not any like salt or anything on this, so we'll just put some Rust-Oleum over the top, get it sealed. It's gonna be fine for what we're trying to get done here. So the axles I'm not gonna paint right now. I'm doing only the frame and probably like the mounts here, but I'm not doing the springs or the axles at this point in time because I'm probably gonna have to take them apart, reseal them anyway, at least the front one, because you can see on the front one here, it's already partially apart. Like, some of the nuts are gone there, and the other side's been taken apart as well. And you can also see that the flapper seal things here, whatever they're called, are leaking really bad. So those will need to be replaced, which I should probably get those ordered because I don't have any of those right now, I don't think. All right, we got all of this ground down with the wire wheel here. As good as I can get it. I'm not gonna be able to get inside the frame rails, obviously. Yeah, that's just not gonna happen. And I took some steel wool and stuff and tried to get all the loose stuff off of the inside of the frame rail where it's like open and in the back here. So it's pretty much as good as I'm gonna be able to get it. what I'm going to do now is use some of this rust fix, and I'm going to just spray that on all of the surfaces that have rust, like surface rust on them, and it's supposed to convert it to a paintable, sandable, whatever surface and stop it. Who knows if that actually works, but it's better than nothing. So I'm going to spray that on all this real quick, and then we should be ready to paint it with the brush. Alright, we got this all painted with that rust reformer stuff. Got all the surfaces covered, so it's supposed to, like, you know, make it better or whatever. So I think tomorrow we'll probably start painting it. Alright, it's the next day. So this should all be dry now. So I think what I'm going to do is get some sandpaper and just kind of run over all of it, scuff it up a little bit, make sure the new paint will actually stick really good. Then we'll clean it off and actually start painting. So let's get to it. Alright, so we got this all painted. It's actually the next day now, so hopefully it's all dry. Seems to be. But yeah, it came out really nice. I'm really happy with it. This paint really sticks well, and it should last a good long time. See, we pretty much got every surface we possibly could painted. I'm probably going to come back and do axles and stuff later. I'm still not 100% sure. I might just leave them for now, because it'd be nice to test them and see how they do, and then I could rip those off later. Like, it's not the end of the world to take those off after everything else is done. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out though. It looks very nice, and honestly, from a few feet back, it probably looks like a brand new frame. Surface finish isn't the best, but honestly, with a little bit of pitting in the metal and stuff like that where water sat, it's gonna be plenty fine for the budget that we're on. So I'm very happy with that. I think the next video is going to be cleaning up the engine, transmission, and transfer case. Kind of just get that all repainted and looking fresh. Since it runs so good, I don't really see a reason to tear it apart. So yeah, the plan is just to make it look nice. I'm probably going to replace the valve cover gasket at the very least. But honestly, other than that, I probably won't do anything on it. Just clean it up, paint it, and then if we have leaks on it later, we can always fix those as they appear. So yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.